Welcome back to another animal tier list. This one is slightly different because we will be tiering the biggest animal rivalries. The way this will be compared is how deadly the animals are, how frequent this rivalry occurs, and how balanced the rivalry is. There are some rivalries you might not even realise happen that could be right outside your home, but let's get into the list. Kicking things off in the 7th tier, we have the completely one-sided animal rivalries, and we start with the elephant versus rhino. Rhinos occasionally provoke elephants, and rhinos then realise what a mistake that was due to the size of the elephant. There is a story I heard which may be true, where a rhino attacked an adolescent elephant. It obviously lost to the elephant still, but that elephant got an unhealthy relationship towards rhinos and apparently went on a killing spree, killing quite a few rhinos. Another elephant rivalry is the elephant and hippo, which is also on 7th tier. The hippos get aggressive on the elephant and then realise it's a problem and runs away due to the fact a hippo is so much more tankier than an elephant. So I mean an elephant's more tanky than a hippo. The final 7th tier rivalry we have is the great white shark versus the orca. Orca always wins. There have been a few incidents of this rivalry where orcas always win. However, sharks are on the rise due to the new fishing laws and many other ones put in place, and they might finally get a win. But when a shark senses an orca, due to the fact they do have a better sensor, they turn tail and run, especially in the likely event an orca will be in its pod. That is game over for a great white shark. Going into 6th tier, we have rivalries that are not close, but not one-sided. Kicking things off is the sperm whale versus giant squid. This rivalry isn't close, seeing that sperm whales prey on giant squids as their main source of nutrition. Seeing that giant squids aren't very small, they can be found very easily for a sperm whale, but surprisingly humans aren't very good at finding them. We need to learn from the sperm whales clearly. The jaguar versus the crocodile is another rivalry where the jaguar kills the crocodile 8 times out of 10. But the crocodile can still win if it gets the element of surprise because it is still a crocodile. I'm not talking about salt waters and Nile crocs, I'm talking more American crocodile and American alligator at the largest. So if it was a Nile croc or a saltwater croc, then maybe it would be slightly different. The final addition to the 6th tier is the seal versus orca. A seal has no chance of killing an orca, so it always runs away onto the coast. But even then an orca will jump on to a beach and kill it. Due to orcas and their tricks such as the tidal wave to push them off the ice, orcas usually win with a 75% success. Despite the orca being the 2nd deadliest animal alive at the moment, it is no true challenger, and therefore this is one tier list it will not get very high on. Up into the 5th tier now, and we have the shark versus dolphin, which sounds like an obvious win for the shark, but the dolphin wins 9 times out of 10, and the largest dolphin, the orca, wins every time. With very high intelligence and streamlined head for crashing into the sharks, especially the gills and the underside, dolphins will attack sharks despite being the prey in this relationship. If they get a good combo on the gills and the belly where the liver is, then the shark dies no matter what species, even the great white shark. There have been reported incidents where sharks are attacking humans and then dolphins come and stop the sharks from killing the human. It shows just how much dolphins hate sharks, and possibly want to show how loyal they are to humans. We don't know that last one, but I think dolphins are nice. One of the more unexpected rivalries is the mongoose versus king cobra. King cobras are one of the most venomous creatures in the world and can kill a human more or less instantly with its venom. However, mongoose have venom resistance and also very good speed, which usually gives the mongoose an 8 out of 10 win. The last rivalry in the 5th tier is the bee versus the hornet. Hornets make their nests out of sticky substances which can be found in bees and beehives, which is one reason why hornets kill bees. The other is hornets will eat bees. The more notorious hornet, the giant hornet, will swarm bees, and 30 giant hornets will be able to kill about 30,000 European honeybees who have been imported to Asia. A Japanese honeybee will have a defense method which swarms one of these hornets and flaps its wings as fast as it can, upping the body temperature of the hornet, killing it before it can release a pheromone to attract its hornet friends. thus stopping the Japanese colonies from being raided. Entering the 4th tier, we have the more classic and close rivalries. Kicking it off is the polar bear versus the walrus. Polar bear is bigger and stronger than a walrus, but ultimately a group of walruses tend to be too much, and if a walrus can sink its teeth into a polar bear, then it is game over for the polar bear. Polar bears tend to go for a walrus as a last resort if it needs food due to it being difficult, especially when they are usually huddled together like that. Another bear rivalry is bear versus wolf. In North America, bears and wolves share a lot of territory and prey, causing a big rivalry. A bear would only attack a wolf if it was about to starve, and a wolf wouldn't attack a bear because it wouldn't win, even if it's a black bear or a brown bear or even a subspecies of the brown bear. The wolves do have an advantage, which is that they hunt in packs, giving them a good chance to compete against the bear, unlike if it was a one-on-one where the bear would mop the floor against a wolf. We now have the biggest rivalries, and in 3rd tier is the rhino versus the hippo. The hippo almost usually starts this confrontation due to their aggressive behaviour, but a rhino has its horn. Both animals are of similar size, and most fights end in a draw due to both animals being equal size and strength. But this rivalry could have been higher if it was more frequent and if it was for territory, but in this fight, no one's really a winner. The hippos also make it into the 2nd tier for its rivalry against the Nile crocodile. Both of these animals are extremely aggressive, causing this fight to happen more than any of the fights mentioned. But the hippo has the size and speed and also the strength, whereas the Nile croc has a higher bite force, but the hippo does have some very thick skin. Both these animals fight for territory, and due to their very unpredictable aggressive behaviour, fights happen a lot, but a hippo will win usually 8 out of 10 times. However, I believe if you replace the Nile croc with a saltwater croc, then this fight may be very different and give the reptile guild a win in the Savannah swamps. But for now, Nile crocs are stuck in the hippo's playground and have to usually abide by its rules. But the biggest rivalry out there in the wild is so big, they have even made films about it, such as The Lion King. I probably gave that one away, but the biggest rivalry is lion versus hyena. The lion is bigger and stronger than the hyena, but the hyena makes that up in numbers. Both animals have similar speed, with hyenas having a bite that is nearly 2 times stronger for devastating blows, whereas lions use it to grab onto animals. Both animals hunt for the same food and even each other. There was even apparently once a war between hyenas and lions for some territory, which resulted in the death of 35 hyenas and 6 lions. So, seeing that there's less lions, that's kind of 35 hyenas in total for territory, which resulted in a 2-week showdown with no side prevailing. And overall, lions versus hyenas has been in a stalemate since the start, with no side prevailing as of now. However, we do have a bonus round for God tier, and this rivalry probably is the biggest and the one most people don't expect, but it's right outside our very homes. And that is the cat and dog rivalry. In a bid for the title of man's best friend, which pet is the best? Both of these animals have very different personalities, with the cat being more Mr. Sit Back and Relax, whereas the dog is Mrs. Let's go do something right now! I have to call this fight a draw because there is no right or wrong answer. However, a dog was originally domesticated to hunt animals smaller than it, which did include the cat. But there are some very aggressive cats compared to some very playful dogs. My one is actually a very playful dog. If you didn't know, I am a dog person, but I do honestly want a cat to see what they are like. Except for I can't really because my mum is allergic to cats. But at the time of writing, this rivalry, like I said, is a 50-50, no true winner yet. Rivalries are what helps power the world and make us better versions of ourselves. And that is sometimes the same in the wild. Granted, some rivalries are silly because we just want to prove that we're taller or more macho, and also that Hippo-Rhino rivalries are pretty ridiculous, but we need them so we can succeed in life. And I want to end this video here because I think it's a good time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.